Okay, so we were just saying that the old slope of this equation right here is 2. And we're talking about perpendicular. I should say perpendicular. Okay, we're talking about perpendicular. And the new slope of a line that's perpendicular is going to be the opposite reciprocal. So the opposite reciprocal of 2 is -1/2. Okay, so now we're going to fill in our box of knowledge just like we did with parallel lines, okay, because we have to solve for b, and we're going to use our y equals mx plus b to solve for b. We're going to fill in our pieces. So m, remember you're always using the new slope here, okay? The new slope is -1/2 x, so we're going to use this right here because this guy's x and this guy's y, okay? And our x is 1 and our y is 5. Okay? Now we're going to substitute in here so that we can figure out what b is. Equals m, which is -1/2, times 1 plus b. Again, b is what we're solving for, so that's our variable. Now, we need to simplify, so we've got 5 equals -1/2 times 1 is -1/2 plus b. I need b by itself, so I'm going to add 1/2 to both sides. That's going to be 5 times 1/2 is 5.5. Or you could write it as 5.5, I don't care. This goes away, and I'm just left with b. Okay, so now we're going to write a new equation of a line in y equals mx plus b form. Keep in mind I am no longer using variables for x and y. So y equals m, we're always using our new slope, -1/2 x. Our b is 5.5, so plus 5.5. Okay? Now, if you go to the page that we did before, and you scroll down, that table that we just did corresponds to number 12. So number 12 is the one we just did, which is y equals -1/2 x plus 5.5. Okay, now you can continue to do it the way we did before, or we can just simply put that we need to know m, and we need to know b, okay? And our end result needs to look something like this, okay? Or you can use your step action table if you want to create your own step action table. Now again, this is saying that we want perpendicular lines, okay? Well, the old slope is 3/4, so my new slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. My opposite reciprocal is -4/3. Okay? And then we have b, which we don't know, so we're solving for b. We're going to use y equals mx plus b, and we're going to substitute in this x and this y to solve for b. So we have 1 equals my new slope, -4/3 times -6 plus b, because again, b is what I'm solving for. So -3/4 times 6 is going to be 8. So we have 1 equals 8 plus b. Okay, you just plug that into your calculator if you don't want to deal with the fractions, that's fine. And I'm going to now subtract 8 from both sides. So this is -7, that goes away. So I have b equals -7. I'm going to write that right here, -7. Now, remember, I want something that looks like this in the end, so I'm going to now fill in the m and the b that we found and write the equation of the line. Y equals -4/3x. Now, it's plus b, but this is a -7, so we're going to put -7. Okay? Okay, you can do the rest on your own. This one, you should get something that's y equals -1/9 x. Now the b, it doesn't give you any parameters for b, so your b could actually be anything. The key thing here is making sure perpendicular you have opposite reciprocal slope. And then this one right here, you should end up getting y equals negative 1/5 x plus 1. Okay? Now the last thing I want to talk about is something that I think that we confuse a lot, which is vertical and horizontal lines. Okay? So a vertical line is going to be a line that's up and down like this, vertical. Okay? And a horizontal line is going to go here, like left to right, like the x-axis. Now these type of lines have slopes, and you need to make sure that you understand the difference of the slopes. Now, if I think about vertical lines and I think about slope, I think, okay, if I'm like walking up a hill, that's what slope is, how steep the hill is. If you have a vertical line that's going straight up, you can't possibly walk up a hill that's straight up and down. That's vertical, okay? So we call that slope undefined. Now, a slope for a line parallel would also be undefined. Okay? Now, so an example of an equation for a vertical line would be something like x equals negative 1. An example of an equation of a line for a line parallel to x equals negative 1 could be x equals 2 or x equals 7. Every vertical line is going to be parallel to itself. So you could list any vertical line that you want. Now, before we get to perpendicular, let's talk about the slope of a horizontal line. Okay, so slope of a horizontal line is flat, like this, right? Because it's going straight back and forth. There's no incline up or down. So we call that a slope of 0. Okay? And a line parallel to that would be any slope that also has 0, the slope of 0. So an equation of a line, okay, for something that has a 0 slope would be y equals 1. And an equation of a line that's parallel to y equals 1 would be y equals 2. Or y equals negative 4, or y equals 400, okay? So any horizontal line is going to be parallel to any other horizontal line. Now let's talk about vertical and horizontal lines and their relationship. So if we have a vertical line, we have a line up and down like this. Okay? And if we have a horizontal line, then we have a horizontal line that goes left to right like this. Okay? Well, these angles they form are right angles, which means that these vertical line and this horizontal line are perpendicular to each other, which means that for vertical lines, a line that's perpendicular to this vertical line would have a slope of 0. And so, for example, we could say y equals 1. And over here, for this, my horizontal line, okay, an equation of a line that would have a perpendicular slope to my horizontal line would have a slope which is undefined. For example, x equals 3. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind when you're doing these, when you see anything that says vertical line or an equation that looks something like x equals and nothing else is always a vertical line. Y equals and nothing else with it is a horizontal line. Now, if you fill out this chart, this is just kind of an exercise to get used to writing parallel and perpendicular slopes. So 3, so the slope here is going to be 3. So everywhere down here, parallel slope, it better be the same, because we said it's same slope, right? And then here, on this side, it's perpendicular, and we know that the relationship is opposite reciprocal. So 3 would be negative 1/3. This is 1/2, so we'd say negative 2. Negative 3 over 4 would be positive 4 over 3. Negative 5 would be, put that for parallel again, and we'd say 1/5, and so on and so forth. You can go sit here and go through the rest of these, just writing the slope, parallel and perpendicular. Let's look at one real quick. So parallel would be 1. Well, the opposite reciprocal of 1 is -1 over 1, which ends up just being -1. And then the opposite down here, so it would be -1, and this would be 1. And you could do the rest on your own.